Good afternoon everyone, and a big welcome to Tom's Films. Apologies again, I appreciate it has been a while since my last video. I always say to myself I'm going to start doing more videos, however I always forget, things crop up. Hey look, I'm a busy man, I work full time like the rest of us. Nevertheless, today I am back, and I am back with another video. Now obviously today's video is slightly different. You may or may not have noticed, it depends how big the rock is that you're living under, that there is something going on in the world at the moment. Now that thing is COVID-19, and it seems to be taking the world by storm, and obviously not in a good way. However, this isn't a video about COVID-19, this is a video about gaming, like I usually do, because to be honest with you, I'm that sort of shallow-minded that gaming and my girlfriend are really the only two things that I ever think about. Just a disclaimer before I really get into this video, I am currently supposed to be working, so hopefully none of my bosses ever come across this, and if they do, I apologise. Please don't sack me. I'm a good worker, think of everything I've done for you. But the main point being for you guys is that if my work phone rings, I'm going to have to quickly cut the video and come back to it, as obviously the last thing I'd imagine you want to hear is me taking a works telephone call. Now, that being said, let's get straight into today's video. Now, the topic for today's video, as ever, and I have briefly touched upon this previously in the intro, is gaming. In particular, the new consoles that are on the horizon, or so-called on the horizon. I'll get into that in a minute. And that is obviously the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. So what I'm going to go over is, are you hyped? I'll give you my personal opinion. I'll give you slightly which way I'm swaying, and then I'm interested to hear about you guys. Are you hyped? Do you think that COVID-19 will have an effect on these? Yeah, if so, I'm really intrigued to hear all your comments and opinions below. Now, me personally, I currently, this generation, I do have the Xbox One, and I also have the PlayStation 4. Now, I'll be completely honest with you guys. This new release is driving me round the bend. I really don't know which way to go. I mean, ultimately, I will get both. And obviously, as time goes on, I'll hopefully do videos to give you my opinion on sort of each system respectively. Whether I ever get round to that or not, who knows? You know, there's a good sort of 6 months or so between each of my videos, sometimes even a year. But nevertheless, I will promise you guys that I will try to do that. So, like I said, this new release is driving me around the bend. I've been, like the rest of us gamers, I've been doing a lot of research on the internet. I've been reading a lot of facts, figures, statistics about the upcoming releases. And to be honest, I really don't know which way to go. I like the way that Xbox is going. I like the way that they've released and announced all of their information. I like the fact that it has a slightly more powerful edge over the PS5. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will perform better, but you know, specs, you know, ultimately specs don't lie. And I do like the backwards compatibility. Now, for me, backwards compatibility is going to be a real selling point in this upcoming generation. Xbox have already shown us what they can do, obviously, with the Xbox One X being able to play, you know, if you like, 4 generations of games. And Sony have always lacked slightly in the backwards compatibility department. However, they have promised that at launch, the PS5 will be capable of playing 100 of the best and most popular PS4 titles. I just hope that PlayStation can deliver on that. However, the thing for me that really lets Xbox down is the design. Now, we are in 2020. By the time these consoles are released, we'll be going into 2021, and I get what Xbox were going for. They're making this look like a retro gaming PC or a PC tower. The look isn't for me. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my gaming setup, or sorry, should I say my living room setup, wouldn't, you know, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, sorry, should I say, wouldn't actually fit on my TV stand, and if I could manage to squeeze it on the end somewhere, it would look really daft. Now, Sony, although that they have kept their cards very close to their chest on the design of their console, I would imagine we're going to get something a lot slicker, a lot more streamlined, and ultimately better to look at. But let's be honest, they haven't really got a lot to beat, you know, in that department. They've only got to make it, you know, look less like a brick, and straight away that they beat Xbox in the design element. So, after all that, and to summarise which one I think I'm going to get first, because like I said, ultimately I will end up getting both, I think it will probably end up being PS5, if I'm completely honest. Reason being, Hopefully they come up with a slightly nicer design that will actually fit on most people's gaming setups. But not only that, I've got the PS4 Pro. I've only got the Xbox One S. So I mean, historically I have always had sort of more PlayStation than I have Xbox. So I'll probably jump to the PS5 first, before eventually then going over to the Xbox Series X. Hopefully in the time then, the Xbox will have a slight price cut, or, you know, they may even announce another system, because let's not forget that the new generation of Xbox, although we're all wrapped up in the world of Xbox Series X, is actually only called Xbox. And obviously the Series X is one of the new Xboxes that they are bringing to the table. So moving on to the next element of this video, and that is obviously COVID-19, the pandemic that's obviously taken over the world, and like I said earlier on in the video, not in a very pleasant way. Will that have an impact on this new generation? Will that have an impact on not only the systems coming out, but obviously also the launch games and the launch titles as well? Now, ultimately, the answer to that is, personally, I don't think it will. I mean, I don't work for Sony, I don't work for Microsoft, I have no affiliation to obviously either brands. I've got no inside knowledge. Hey, I'm just a normal guy that's probably boring the death out of people talking about video games from his home in the United Kingdom. But yeah, no, I mean, I honestly don't think that there will be a delay in the release, certainly of the systems. That's not to say that some of the launch titles, I know Naughty Dog, obviously the guys behind the Last of Us series, they have said that Last of Us 2 may be slightly delayed, particularly on the PS5, and obviously Halo being the big one on the Xbox as well. Xbox haven't ruled out that potentially may not see a delay. However, certainly in terms of the hardware, I think that both Microsoft and Sony will be keen to push these out, particularly as Christmas is so close to the launch as well. That leads me on nicely to the next point of, obviously, rumour has it as well that there is going to be sort of supply issues initially. Do I buy all of that? Absolutely not. Again, I have no inside knowledge, so I may be wrong then. There genuinely may be supply issues. I hope not, because I am really looking forward to getting my hands on one of these bad boys. But I personally think that this supply issue that they talk of is all just one big ploy to obviously get us to pre-order the system and try and build some hype that I believe that both of these companies know isn't quite there. Now, I'm not going to lie, when the Xbox 360 and the PS3 was coming to the end of its life cycle, I was hyping, you know, PS4, Xbox One. I was really excited, and I was almost counting down the days for the new generation. Now, I don't know about you guys, and again, please do leave a comment down below, but I am excited. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't, but I'm not quite as hyped as I was last time around. And there's a few reasons behind that. Firstly, I suppose I'm older now, and obviously I have more important things to obviously spend my money on. And, you know, for 400 to 500, I mean, the price points haven't actually been announced yet, but we know that they're certainly going to be no cheaper than around £450 here in the UK. That's a lot of money to spend on a machine. And I personally don't think that particularly Xbox, and I suppose the same could be said for PlayStation, they haven't particularly helped themselves by releasing the Xbox One X. Now, the Xbox One X is obviously the mid-generation upgrade that we had from Microsoft. And again, I say from the start, you know, these videos, there's plenty of excellent YouTubers out there that go into depth on specs. I just sort of touch upon them. So I'm not going to go into detail on the specs of the Xbox One X, but the point I'm trying to make here is I believe that it's a console that's already sort of slightly ahead of its years. It can play in sort of native 4K, and I believe that Xbox have certainly done themselves no favours by releasing that when they did, because obviously players and gamers, we already have access to 4K games. I mean, all we've got to do is look at something like Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox One X. You know, it really is stunning. And I suppose the ultimate point I'm trying to make here is there is no real demand for these systems at the moment, because obviously, let's be honest, okay, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are both going to support 8K, but realistically, who has an 8K television at the moment? I know I certainly don't. I mean, I haven't been on the 4K train for too long. So like I say, I've only just really updated from 1080p to 4K. So, you know, making a jump from 4K to 8K, I wouldn't really say that's in demand at the moment. And like I say, you can pick up an Xbox One X now, which will perfectly fulfill that 4K gaming. And I don't feel like there's any real sort of need for that real jump at the moment. But again, that could be working in their favour, because obviously in the back of Xbox's mind, they know that there is no real rush now to get that console out. Like I said, I believe that they will. And again, like I say, you can sort of say the same for the PS4 Pro as well. Although not as powerful as the Xbox One X, it still sort of upscales games to 1440, which, you know, to the naked eye, and if you're blind like me, you can't really tell much difference. It is near enough 4K. So, like I say, I don't really believe that there is the demand there. If, you know, and I don't believe that the jump will be as great as, say, when we went from the 360 to the Xbox One. Now that leads me on to just obviously the summary of this video. If you have made it this far, I'd like to thank you, and obviously if you've made it this far, you might as well like it and subscribe as well. Just a disclaimer, none of these videos are scripted. Like I say, I'm supposed to be working as we speak, and I just thought that I'd put a video together for you guys. I've got no notes, no nothing. Everything is just sort of spilled, which is obviously why occasionally I do feel like I'm rabbiting on a little bit, and why I'm going to bring the video to a close now. But like I said, ultimately, please let me know what you think. Are you hyped? Obviously, if any sort of professional YouTubers come across this, please feel free to give me some advice on what I can do in further videos. Are you hyped for the next generation of consoles? Are you happy with what you got? And yeah, what do you think the future of certainly of console gaming in regards to Sony and Microsoft hold? So I'm going to bring that video to an end now, guys. I'm actually going to crack on and obviously do some work. So yeah, that's all from me. And until next time, see you later from Tom's Films.